What up, what up, what up? Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all now tuned in with your guys, Big Joe and Lil Joe. Pops, you got something you want to say real quick?
Oh, what's up, y'all out there? I didn't really know we was getting ready to do the show right now, but I'm good. How's everybody doing out there? I want to thank everybody for all the support, man. Everything's looking good for me right now, and booming. But I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all out there, man. Let's get this on, man.
And before we get started, man, if y'all ain't already subscribed to my dad at YouTube, the YouTube is Doing Time with Joe. I'm gonna put the link in the description. Not only that, I've been having a lot of people ask me about how to support my daddy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to send him something, they got a thing called JPay. You go to JPay and you're gonna put in his inmate number, which is 143126. You gotta put 2 zeros in the front, 00143126, and then from there you could it's just, you know what I'm saying, it'll walk you through what it is you need to do. And the institution that he is at is called SPND, stands for Special Needs Daycare Facility, and it's in Nashville, Tennessee. And with that same information I just gave you, if you wanted to write them, you can use that same information. And, you know, if you wanted to send card or anything like that, or send money, that's how you could do it. But I really wasn't even gonna do this, my man. I was just sitting here thinking, because we just had a conversation talking about parenting and, you know, things kids and stuff need, and we ain't never had this well, we probably had this conversation briefly, but not on a public platform like this. And it made me think about having this conversation. And I don't know if it's gonna be tough for you, but I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, it might be, but let's do it.
We were just talking about, I was just having a conversation with my pops, talking about, as a man now, it's hard to see men who don't even realize what they're missing out on when it comes to their children's life, because maybe a decision they made or it didn't work out between the parents. And, you know, my daddy's situation, you know, we got locked up, we was young, and we missed our whole life. But I wonder, you know, if it was something you could say to my mama, knowing, you know what I'm saying, to that extent of how much you really missed out on, what would it be?
Man, first of all, I know a lot of people might be surprised by this, what I'm about to say, but I would actually thank her for what she did do. I don't agree with everything that she did when it came to raising y'all, but I wasn't there to fill in the gap, so what right do I have to question anything, first of all? But I would thank her for what she did do. It's hard because a lot of people are not mature enough, and I'm not going to say that I was always mature enough to understand and accept, you know, she had to make certain decisions regarding y'all when it came to, you know, being in a relationship with another man. You feel me? And I think a lot of the decisions that she made were based off of y'all wanting a man in the house. Not saying that she didn't love whoever it was that she was with. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I have no doubt that she factored in she needed a man in the house to help raise y'all. Her choice of men would not have been my choice for her, but I mean, she didn't ask me. You know what I'm saying? But I think that factored in, and I want to thank her for being courageous enough to continue to try and do the best she could, because it's hard for a woman. Don't get it twisted. I do believe that women are the backbone, period. I do believe that a good woman can do as much as they are able to do when it comes to raising a man. And I don't believe that necessarily if a man is not there that the young man won't turn out to be a good adult. But I do believe that a man's presence has to be there. I just believe that a good presence, not the negative presence. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would thank Tanya for that. So, and I would thank her for trying to get that right.
Let me ask you this: Do you feel like it's a lot of men in prison who don't take accountability because they feel like once I'm not able to be present in my child's life, it seems like they could lack accountability of the decisions that they leave the woman to make once they are absent, and then it turns into a blame when she's made certain choices that they may not agree with. But it's not like I got what you were saying, and it's because I can remember Auntie saying a lot, and Mama and other women in the family, like when I didn't agree with certain ways or certain things that, you know, my child mama may have moved or certain things she have done, and they would always come with, you know, you made a choice and put yourself in prison. You really don't, it's almost like I didn't have a say-so or an opinion, or you can't feel some type of way about what she's doing and you're not there at all.
Right. A lot of guys in prison, man, a few minutes ago, like I said, I spoke on maturity. Most men coming here, you know, at a young age are not mature enough to accept and understand that. In fact, I know a lot of guys back in the day, they rooted for her to fail, for the woman to fail, so they could say she didn't get it right.
Right.
And that would allow them to maintain a presence in her life. You know what I'm saying? When things didn't go wrong, she would reach out to them to say, what do I do? What do I do? Not understanding fully that they don't have an answer for, you know, helping raise those kids. They'll get them on the phone like I used to do y'all. Get you on the phone and say this and say that to you. The only reason that you listen to me is because you love me. But you would get off the phone and then you would go do what you do. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not about, you know, a lot of it is not about the guys in here necessarily maintaining a presence in the kids' life because they love the kids. They mostly maintain the presence in the kids' life because they wanted to be involved in her life. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. They're here yelling about something, so if that's interrupted, I hope that people will understand that I am locked up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that loud. Yeah, that's a tough conversation because, you know, I've been around, like I was just telling you, I've been around women and I watch the greatness in children, and there are so many men out here that are free who you can't be in their life. I don't care nothing about what didn't work out, what arguments you had, what disagreements you had. Like, it's crazy because I did time and I voluntarily missed out on that. I missed out. And now from the lens I look from now, it's like, how are you out here, homie, and you missing out on those opportunities? And then it's funny because I used to tell my child mama this, that it's so many men and women out here who they'll separate and another man can come in or another woman can come in and be what I feel us as mature adults should be able to do for our own children. I understand when you get in a new relationship, it's fresh. But you'll eventually have the same you'll have some disagreements and some arguments or whatever that is, and you'll still, and I feel like because you and whoever the parent was went through what y'all and y'all can't reconcile, and it ends up, you know, where the kids miss out because of that. We should be able to mend that, man. Like I'm the biological, she's the biological mother. It's no reason, if both people are willing, for that shouldn't happen. You said some strong words, man. Look, the thing about being a parent, in my opinion, the most important thing about being a parent is being selfless, man. And when you're dealing with individuals that don't understand what that means, you know, when that child is born, it's them, not you, not her. You feel what I'm saying? It's just dead on that. And a lot of people have a hard time putting themselves second. They'll say that they do, but they really don't. Because if they really did, if the relationship didn't work out, it would not matter who she got with or who he got with, as long as they were good for the kids. Right. And we all know what that means, good for the kids. We all know what that means. It's not about the money, because you don't want to, and I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, but I just want to keep it 100, man. You don't want somebody in the household that is going to make the situation worse. Right. Putting somebody in the household is going to set a bad example for the child. But we do understand life happens, okay? I'm not naive to that. But if you're not going to be selfless when it comes to that child's needs, then you're going to be missing it anyway. It's not that the man that comes into the household or the woman that ends up coming into the household that after the relationship that breaks up that does a better job than you would have done. It's just that they're there. child doesn't know who's best. You feel me? But the child knows who's there.
Right.
And if you're there, you're going to have more influence and those types of things. And the actual biological parent is not there and missing out. And a lot of times, most of the times, if they're not selfless and putting the child first, they become hurt. And after they get hurt by the situation of their own doing, of their own making most of the time, because they either got locked up or they cheated or they did something that caused the breakup, after that hurt comes, now you start to do all these other things that hurt the child, but you're really trying to hurt the mother. You feel me? Or the father, depending on what the situation is. Yeah.
Right.
And that's what it's going to take. It's not about sitting down and saying, okay, we're the biological kids, this and that. Because I do agree with you that you should be able to come to some kind of understanding. But if you're not going in that situation, understanding that you are not the most important person in this issue, you feel what I'm saying? If you're not going into it like that, and thinking that child or those children are the most important, you're going to miss it in the long run anyway, and you're going to do some harm to that baby. You feel?
Yep. And so,
yeah.
I got one question, because I was going to try to make this one short and hit it. And I got one last question, man. What would you say to the men who are out here? Because you missed all of our life. You know what I'm saying? And I know
you have 1 minute remaining.
I know.
Let me make this quick. Let me make this quick. What I would say. Let me make this quick. What I would say, man, get involved, because the worst feeling I've ever had is not being there for y'all. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And missing out on those things. It's not all those events that you're gonna do. It's just that time to be around so you can see. Because a few minutes ago you mentioned something about when you see that special thing in that child, and all kids have that something special in them, but they need that parent. They want that parent to nurture that out of them. You feel what I'm saying? And be there and encourage them. They want that. And I can remember, man, on the phone talking to you about learning how to dribble. And my Trey's the same way. And I would have given anything, man, to have been there to actually do that with you.
Right.
Not because you learning to dribble basketball, because we're spending time together. Mm-hmm. Because we would have been spending time together. And that is the most important thing. Because that's what's going to be the foundation of turning.
Thank you for using GTL.
And just like that, that is why it's important to be involved. You see how they clipped off? There's a lot of men out here who have that opportunity without their phone clicking off like that, cutting out like that, who don't call and check on their kids, know what's going on with their kids, not involved with their kids. That right there, that's automatic. You can't. It's just automatic cut off. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's something else he want to say, and I'm going to answer that, but just like that, don't let whatever's going on between you and her, or you and him, stop from, because I'm telling you, man, you can't get that back. You can't get that back. I missed 10. I can never get it back. But I'm going to let him finish this real quick.
7 cents. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using GTL.
Yeah.
It's still rolling if you wanted to finish it.
Yeah, I do want to finish it, man. Because that would have given, teaching you those things would have given you the foundation to become a better person. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not to say that you're not a great person now. You feel what I mean? Because I do believe you are. You know what I'm saying? And your brother. I love y'all dearly. But it's one thing that I always notice, and not notice, but it's one thing I always think about when it comes to the relationship that I have with you and Montrez. Y'all love me when I gave y'all no real reason to love me, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I would have loved to be able to do things out there with y'all to give y'all reasons to really love me. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. And that's not something that you should take for granted. So if you're out there and you have kids, give them a reason to love you. Don't take for granted that they're just going to love you because you're daddy or because you're mama. Give them reasons to love you. Mm-hmm. Make memories with them. You feel what I'm saying? Nurture them to be good people, to be good human beings, man. And that's all I'll say on that, boo. That's all I'm going to say. Because I ain't going to keep on. You're going to have me crying on here. I ain't going to be doing all that today, man.
And I'm glad though, because I wanted to make it short and sweet. Like, this need to be one of them where it hit and get out of the way, man. So like I said, if y'all ain't subscribed to my daddy YouTube, go check it out. Doing Time with Joe. I'm gonna put the link to the podcast in there, which I do every time, and y'all still ask me. And if you need if you need the information to, you know, send them, you want to send them a card, you want to write them a letter, you know what I'm saying, you want, you know, just keep them company, you know what I'm saying, you got questions, you know, you can write them out. The information is in the beginning of the video. And yeah, man, we appreciate y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this and took something from it, man. It's Big Joe and Lil Joe, man. Y'all be blessed.